𝐶𝐞𝐬𝐞𝐬. We got friend that we bring back. Bill Tobago has won. Some of the country they over. The PNM is the way that we love. For our representation. Hey, we got this. We got this. We got this. PNM. We got this. We got this. We got this. Whoa, 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 boy. Who you voting for? Who you voting for? Who you voting for? Who you voting? On election day. Don't care what they say. Who you voting for? PNM. Who you voting for? Who you voting for? Who you voting for? Who you voting? On election day. Don't care what they say. Who you voting for? PNM. We got this. Join up in the east, yeah. Team up in the west, yeah. We got this. Hey. We got this. Hey. Hey. I cannot wait for election morning. Tell them why. Tell them why. And dipping down to me elbow, darling. From Smithside to Canaan, we making it through this moment. You are the reason. Higher than higher heights is our limit. So we ain't leaving. No one behind, we will not desert you. Come on, protect the future. I know we can do this thing. Yeah. So right now, let me fix up, fix up. Come on, let me link up, link up. Give a friend, let me build up, build up. Tobago has won. From the country that over. The PNM is the way that we love. For our representation. Hey, we got this. We got this. We got this. PNM. We got this. We got this. We got this. Whoa, 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 yeah. So many youths in service now, that's an honor. Oh, you are my friend, my sister, and my brother. But what we gonna do? So we gonna join up in the east, yeah. We gonna bless his family. Team up in the west, yeah. Calling out everybody. See when we come together. Goodness, find out we're stronger. Stand up here as we come to do this work. It's that good place we not this red valley. Cause every day we keep on rising up. On the journey we keep on rising up. When water, run more than flour. Not even water could stop this fire. What for stand that here as who come to do this work? Stand up, and we fix up, fix up. Now when we link up, link up. We got friend, we bring back. Bill Tobago has won. Some of the country they over. The PNM is the way that we love. For our representation. Hey, we got this. We got this. We got this. PNM. We got this. We got this. We got this. Whoa, 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 boy. Who you voting for? Who you voting for? Who you voting for? Who you voting? On election day. Don't care what they say. Who you voting for? PNM. Who you voting for? Who you voting for? Who you voting for? Who you voting? On election day. Don't care what they say. Who you voting for? PNM. We got this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to start this evening's meeting. Could we all stand as we observe this nation's national anthem? Please remain standing as we invite Miss Denise Edwards to open us this evening with a word of prayer.
Almighty and ever-loving Father God, we welcome your presence here tonight, mighty God. Father God, I ask that tonight will be an informational as well as educational, Almighty God. Father God, I ask that you cover each candidate under the blood of your Son, Jesus Christ, Almighty God. Father God, may no harm befall them tonight or any other night, Lord, in the mighty name of Jesus. Father God, these are other wonderful mercies. I ask in no other name but in your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Before you take your seats this evening, look around at the people. Look who next to you. Look who behind you. Look and see. Any familiar faces? No familiar faces? Well, that make it even better. Come out of your seat and find 3 familiar faces. Give them a handshake, give them a hug, rub the shoulder a little bit, and tell them something good. Now we got some smiles in here tonight now, man. Is that too much people here for we to be sad? Well, let's have a repeat. Let's go again. We always want to invite God's presence into anything that we do. Let's sing it again. I know it's one of the most popular songs. So let's lift our voices as we fill this room, not just with our voices, but with the very presence of God. As he leads us forward in this fight, we always put him first. Yeah? Let me see those hands in the air as we sing. Yeah. Sing holy. holy forever. Let's sing it. Holy, holy. You will always be, O Lord. Holy forever. Just let this same atmosphere, the intensity of God's presence is far beyond anything else that we can experience. You agree with that? You agree with that? Then you would understand why it's always important for us to put God in front of the battle. They say, except the Lord build, except the Lord watch the. Mr. Paul, finish that for us. Except.
Watchman, what's in vain?
And this evening we have 15 watchmen. You could clap there. This evening we have 15 watchmen. 15 going in to battle. But we're making sure that the watchmen not going to wake in vain because we put God. Where we put God? Turn and tell your neighbor, first all the way. Tell your neighbor. When you've told about 3 people that, you could have your seats if you can. Because tonight I feel the place different. Yeah, you didn't find the place feel a little different tonight? I only here in my man, the place feel a little different. Even though it's the end of the meetings, but it's the beginning of the jamming. Yeah? So we had to look at, we can't come and sit down. This is not preparation for a repassing. This is a preparation for a celebration. Come now, man. So let me hear a shout. That is what we're talking about. And and then tonight on top of that is young people we have on show. Right, people in the back didn't hear me. Counselor, it's young people we have on show. Listen, the PNM just put up young people who fit and thing in it. Today we had the minority counselor run in the marathon. We had the minority leader running in the marathon. Come now, man. This thing is not a dead thing in it. This is life. It's young people we have out in the battlefront. So while the older heads sit in the back and strategize, the young men and young women in the front of the battle, what is the code? Jamming. When you see I do that, what it mean? Let me try it again. When I do that, what it mean? When they call the election is what? When we celebrating on the night is? From now until then is? And we're not going to let up. Yeah? 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 That is what we're talking about. So as young people, we here to celebrate tonight. Young people we showcasing. Young people we putting forward. You understand what I'm saying? And not just young for young's sake. You know, we are athletes. Because they recently put on a... So Hey, all we serious, and we not playing. We serious. We ain't come out here and kicks, man. We ain't had to qualify for the World Cup. The political World Cup, we winning that. Yeah? Hey. Let me behave myself a little bit here. Let me rest this down. Now, when you get our ball, that means I'm going to ask you a question, yeah? So I put in all your on cue. This evening, let me take the opportunity to welcome you to community. Just now, I like unity. I welcome in here to. Why are we having these conversations? Because I was a good warm-up. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me take the opportunity to welcome you this evening to our. Because we are all convinced at this time, by this time, after almost 4 years, that. And so we have answered the call as a party to provide Tobago with not a replacement, not an option, but better. Because we see what's going on. And people need rescuing. So this is a serious time. We in the community of, well, we joined tonight, Plymouth Blackrock and Bethesda Lekoto. And we're ready to rescue the young people from these communities, Golden Lane. We're ready to rescue the business people. We're ready to rescue the fishermen. We're ready to rescue the farmers. We're ready to rescue the churches, the primary schools. The contractors. This is serious business. So this evening, I want to begin to introduce the lineup. It's all heavy. Introducing the lineup this evening. First of all, we have a young man who, he's a kind of tall, good-looking guy. But you can't expect anything else from a guy. So join me this evening as we welcome one of our young contenders into this battle, who's standing on the forefront, ready to fight, ready to go to war, without any restriction, hesitation, or inhibition. Welcome with me this evening, young Mr. Akil Guy. Not good enough? Let me one more.
From Smithside to Canaan, we making it through this moment. You are the reason. Higher heights is our limit.
That is what we're talking about. Yeah. Hey. All right, DJ, all right. Woo, good. Woo. Now, a little bit again, I say, man make me look better than him with the raisin, man. But he rescued himself. How you look up there? I wonder if that's the guy. I wonder if at any point of time in his life, he ever had so much people watching him saying at the same time, that is we guy. Yes? Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. That is good news. We have to have a conversation after. We have to. Very serious one at that. So welcome to Mr. Akil Guy. New to the politics, but not new to service or life. And what I'm glad about this young man is that we have plenty years in him. You could say amen for that? Because the Bible says, I have called you young men because you are. So he back broad. Now, I want to introduce the second person this evening. But I'm vexed because that white socks what I have on. The white socks what she have on, kind of impeding the performance and the skills with the ball. So I am not able to showcase her varying talents. But in the same breath, we're going to welcome her to the stage. And where the assistants? Where the assistants? Come now, man. We discussed this before. Come now, man. As we lift up, as we raise up. Look at support. Look at support. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Carry, 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 carry. You can show your comfortable. You ready? Karen, Forbes, Plymouth Black Rock. Yeah, man. Well, I think the most fitting song playing, the vibes are done. I want to ask a question this evening. I'm a third person. Let me see, I'm looking for somebody. Who it is you feel next?
The political leader. The political leader.
The champion of all, Mr. King, the rebel, Dennis.
All right. So let me tell you something about this young man now. Very quickly, because we want to get into, I hope all you have all your questions loaded. This evening is space. We're doing round robin questions, so get yourself ready. But we have a young man now who is going to come and sit in Calder Hall. I said that we needed a point guard on the basketball team. Yeah? In Buku, his hometown, I say that he was the knockout punch man in the 1-2 combination because we had the minority leader. Yeah? But tonight, he's going to be the center forward because that is the man who does point. That is the man who does sometimes turn back and play the ball back for a man to score a goal. But he had to do some raises here tonight for we. Because he's an acclaimed cricketer. He's an acclaimed cricketer. But I want everybody to see how diverse this man is. But he don't have to raise all. He could bong some. He could keep it up on his tie. Anything. But this evening, I want to welcome the young man who has carried us through the 14 meetings thus far. Tireless, going in the day, coming out in the night, any white pants, always looking clean and crisp, white sneakers, never looking tired, never looking ramful, ready to lead the charge, was in front of the airport today, fighting for Tobago people, business, showing that this is what fearlessness is about. We ain't taking on who's saying don't talk. We ain't taking on no. We don't have time with that because we're not going to sit by and watch Tobago get sell out. We're not going to sit by and watch Tobago be told you don't need autonomy. We're not going to sit by and watch Tobago not get protection from legislation to say that you can't come here and do that. And this evening, I want you to stand with me as we welcome a young man again. I didn't see him run today, but we will see him run tonight because you're running ahead of this pack. Stand with me as we welcome to the stage and to the podium, Mr. Ansel Dennis. Get him again a little bit.
From Smithside to Canaan.
Eyes are we talking about?
No one behind me will not desert you. Come on, protect the future. I know we can do all this thing. So right now, let me fix up, fix up.
Yeah. We are the city dance. Oh, yeah.
We got this. We got this. Yeah. So many youths in service now, that's an honor.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get right into business. Right down to business. So, some of you here to support one, some of you here to support the other. So we're going to make sure that everybody know this is a very active crowd. But we want to still make sure everybody know who is who. Because I don't want nobody make no mistake on that day. So we're going to invite, first of all, Mr. Guy to tell us who he is. And remember, we have hundreds and thousands of people logged on. So keep that smile.
Bethesda. You're looking good. You're looking good. Give you all a round of applause. Firstly, let me say it's an honor to be sitting in front of my community. A privilege to be sitting in front of the people who raised me. And I will say this boldly and proudly, that there is no place in this world that I just feel more of home than right here in Bethesda. Tonight is not the ordinary town hall meetings and but I want to remind everyone where we were, where we are, and where we ought to be, rightfully so. I grew up in this community, Bethesda Government Primary School, where my first memories of this community is basically I had friends like Renako Jack, O'Shea Cyrus, Omar Charles. These are my early childhood friends, Wonasi Ford. And going to Bethesda Government School, I watch it as a pillar within my life. Just as the Plymouth Pentecostal Church was a pillar. And these pillars raise each one of us in this community and carry me throughout life that I can never turn back and not say, thank you, Bethesda. I remember the days of the stories behind Bethesda Government School when the housing scheme that is now here had all the superficial stories from the Google tree to the cow footman to the Elijah Bless. All these stories that flood my mind while I sit here remembering Bethesda School. I remember we went in the primary school football tournament under the coaching of Alvin Chapman, Bego, as we know him in Plymouth. And him and Flabbert James were also pillars. Stokelyville was a pillar within our community. Just reminding the people of the institutions that raised me. Arnoldville Hotel. I grew up in that era. We are the last of Arnoldville Hotel when every yard in Bethesda had an aloes tree, aloes plant. And the guys used to come and pick the aloes plant to go out to Arnoldville. And who's from Bethesda know why? Arnoldville had a lot of European people, and everybody in Bethesda was employed by that hotel. I remember the days of Bethesda when the housing scheme was now being built. Myself, as a young person, was in like second form. And I don't think my parents knew, but during the holidays, we used to go and seek employment when they go on work. And that just goes to show everybody in Bethesda was employed. And guess which government was in power building this housing scheme? The PNM government. I remember the days of going down to Plymouth to watch Stokelyville play. And they were sponsored by Blue Waters, an international brand at the time. And they had guys like Imo and Salas and Jamon and these guys we used to look up to. These people were pillars within our society. I took you down to memory lane just to remind the people of where we was and where we are now. I remember the days when Plymouth Juve heritage was one of the biggest heritage in Tobago. From the Juve morning, I probably might have been too young at that time. I used to go down the road 6 o'clock after my mother said, I take a walk down the road and watch a little bit. But the heritage, not only that it was part of us, or our culture, a lot of business people would have made a lot of money during that time. And not only the Juve, but the heritage where they see the sailor people coming down in the afternoon, and the maypollers, and these things. This is the community that I grew up in. When Precious and Sparkle and Fifi and these people were the maypole leaders in our space. I remember the days when my grandparents would have told me about Plymouth. Yes, kudos to BlackRock and Cats and Jammers, and they're doing an excellent job. But at one point in time, Plymouth was the front runners in steel band. Where we are now, I came back from the university in 2020, right before COVID. And I have never watched Stokelyville play a game in Plymouth for 4 years. I have never been able to play football in the night in Plymouth for the last 5 years. Our roads a deplorable state. Bethesda Government School is doing excellent because of the teachers that are there now. And I mean, I don't know the support that they have. But when we talk about 𝐏𝐞𝐬𝐞𝐫 and Golden Lane, when I walk the streets of these places, they are complaining about dropouts and the young people and them and the influences that they have in this space right now. That is not positive. Whether it is that we are divided as a people with differences and different ideologies, we all here sit tonight with the same realities. We all drive on these streets. We all look forward to a better Bethesda, 𝐏𝐞𝐬𝐞 Golden Lane, Plymouth, Blackrock, 𝐼𝐮. We all face these realities every day. And I'm here to tell people that we are not divided, we are facing the same problems, the same issues. And what would we do? We have to change them. We have to be the champions of change. We have to be the champions of change. A little bit about me. I am Akil Guy, the fourth child of Sherry and Taylor and 𝐓𝐴𝐻𝐿𝐵, grandson of Frederick Bada Guy and Shovel the fisherman. A proud family of the Guys, the Taylors, the Sandys, and a friend and family to all. So when I say that, for those who don't know me, I am open to introducing myself, but I am no stranger to Bethesda. I remember one time when we had Bethesda Primary School, when we won the primary school football tournament. Half the school went to Bishop's High School on the football team, which showed that we had a great mix with academic and sports at that time. The other half went to Mason Hall. And just a little story. As fate will have it, Bishop's was playing in the West and Mason Hall was playing in the East Zone. And every day we come home, we are hearing about Omar Charles and Onasi Ford, that they're scoring every goal up in Mason Hall and beating every team. And Bishops, myself and O'Shea Cyrus was in Bishops and Devon Henry. We were beating every team in the West. Surprisingly so, because they thought Scarborough Second Compre at the time was the better teams. We both end up in the finals. Every day we were arguing, the older community were chiming in the argument. Hey, Nasi better than you, boy, and Omar better than you, or you better than Omar. And that was the argument every day. Friendly comradely. And before that final, my father was in Barbados at the time doing some work, construction. And the night before, I had asthma, so I got an asthma attack. Was in the hospital, my mother had to take me to the hospital. Was there all night until like 5 in the morning. When we got home, she said, you can take the day and relax. I said, nah, I want to go to school. I want to go to school. And she went, okay, if you go to school, do not go and play no football. I said, nah, mommy, I can't play. Obviously, I hid my thugs outside. So when leaving, she knew I love football, so she asked me, let me see your bag. I said, mommy, I'm a big boy, I'm not going to play no football. When I went outside, I put my thugs in my bag and I go into school. I sat down in Bishop's whole day, them fellas from Mason called me saying, boy, we beating all later. Go up in the finals. At the time the coach was 𝐝𝐞𝐬𝐞𝐫. And I sat on it, I couldn't play. I really couldn't play because I wasn't breathing properly at the point in time. But while I sat sitting there, I can hear all the guys from Bethesda saying, but we come quite up here not to see you, man. You're the bench. And I sat there, and Oshie at the time was our captain. Scored 2 to no response. By the time we reached 80 minutes, we was 4-0. And their argument was, that wasn't me. I was not on the field. So I sat there, and my coach sat and they asked me, Guy, the crowd calling in, you had to take something. I said, boy. I said, all right. I couldn't even say warm up because I didn't have much energy. So I went on the field. We had a corner. And as fate would have it, the first touch I had, I scored. By the time I ran and celebrate right in front of them, who was saying that I didn't go on, I couldn't make it back to the half line. When I got home, I hid my stocks outside again. She asked me, but when I walk in Channel 5 news playing, and Bishop's High School had defeated Mason Hall 5-0. And they name out the scorers, and the last one, and Akil Guy is super sub squad. My mom watched me and say, well, I wouldn't be able to talk what she said, but yeah, she did say that. Yeah. And she just turned she back and went in her room. But all fun and jokes, this is the Bethesda that I grew up in. This community grew me. And I offer myself to give service back to the people who once grew me, to my classmates, my age group, and their children, my children, to come for the future. Bethesda and Tobago, we deserve better.
Well, yes. I would have liked to hear the words Mommy saying, but if you're not convinced that we have somebody that even on his worst day, still willing to come off the bench, enter the game, and score. How much you want more than that? Let's hear it for Akil Guy now, man. We move right along this evening in the program to someone who, the first time I met her, said to me, I do talk much. But the amount of things I see she's saying on social media, I didn't think that she would have lied to me. But this young lady has now become a social media influencer. That's a good place to clap. But more importantly, this young lady is a national icon and an example to young women, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but in the Caribbean and internationally. That is the kind of quality the PNM does produce. We always produce the best. And this evening, just as we are giving Bethesda Lekoto, we giving Plymouth Blackrock, so this evening, you could imagine growing up in a house with all that. This evening, I want to invite Karen Forbes to the conversation so that those who didn't know her will know her now. Because a lot of people keep saying, oh, yeah, that the real loud mouth one who always dancing and carrying on about the place. I have to say, no, not that one. Karen Forbes, welcome.
Good evening to the people of Plymouth Blackrock, Wim, Marysville, Union, Pleasant Prospect, Fairbanks, and Bethel. Welcome to Community Conversation.
Talk.
My name is Karen Forbes. Some of you know me as Baby. And well, one of the reasons why they call me Baby because I used to cry a lot when I was younger. You hear me now? Right. So one of the reasons why they call me Baby because I used to cry a lot. And you know, if you all know my mother, when it comes to me crying, she is going to be, hey, stop that. And it's like, okay, cool. So I just wanted to give a history behind Baby because I know a lot of persons wondered why big, strong, tall me being called Baby, right? I grew up right here in Plymouth. I attended Bethesda Government Primary School. I went on to Signal Hill Senior Comprehensive at the time. Well, we know they call it Compre for short. And then I embarked on the journey, moving on to the outer world, you know, attending college there. But allow me to bring it back a little bit. I started playing football, because a lot of you know me by playing football, right? I started playing football at the Plymouth Recreational Ground. My coach, James Campbell, would have bought my first football boots. James was like a father to me, and is still my father. Every day that I've called upon him, when I was preparing to go to train with the national team, sun, rain, wind, don't matter what it is, he always shows up. And one of the reasons why I decided to take on this mantle for service is because I feel most at home when I'm serving people. And what better community to serve than Plymouth Blackrock and environment? I am grateful to be here and to see all of you here, lovely people who have helped nurtured me when I grew up in Plymouth here, that it takes a village to raise a child. And going on the outer world and coming back in, I want to take that experience to bring to our communities and Tobago by extension. I'm sitting here, the founder of Kick It With Karen. If you watch the ball, it's a branded ball. And that's the scratch of the surface of what I can do for my community. With limited resources, 6 months, for 10 years, I have celebrated 10 years of Kick It With Karen. And 6 months of each of those 10 years, I've dedicated my life. January, every January, I'm hitting the ground. It's sponsorship letters after sponsorship letters, because I saw what Kick It With Karen has done for Plymouth Blackrock. And I want to continue that service for my people. So I want to thank Plymouth Blackrock and environment, and by extension Tobago, for supporting me wholeheartedly. As we know, well, allow me to go back into the history of Kick It With Karen a little bit. So a day, my best friend and I we were coming back from a World Cup qualifying game, and I said to her, I said, I want to do something for my community. She said, what? I said, well, I already play in football, and I just finished my bachelor's degree in business administration. So what better thing to do than keep a tournament? So in the early parts of the tournament, I started off by having only men. And it was a one-day competition. And another friend of mine said, you never thought about doing kids? I said, no, but I will try it. Because I'm a person, I like to try new things. So I went ahead and I tried 2 categories, U12s and U14. So it was only male, and then a birdie passed by and said, you're a female footballer, and you ain't a female in your competition? So I said, it's not that I don't want to include females. I said, you have to be strategic. And now Tobago has at least 5 or 6 female teams. Competing in the Kick It With Karen tournament. So Kick It With Karen has moved from 1 day to 2 days. And each year, the tournament has grown exponentially. And it has woken up my genius every year, because the capacity in which the tournament is growing each year, I know, year one, I could have tried to do it by myself. No, I have to have an entire team. And an entire team, not myself alone, not my friends alone, but my family and my community. I take full pride in every single thing that I do. I'm resilient. Every single year, it always looks like somebody not going to come on board. But guess what? I am going to the end. I never stop. And every single time, for 10 years, I have been making it over the finish line and serving my community every single day. It's an honor to be here, ladies and gentlemen. I told the Lord, I said, Lord, I'm passionate about football. I'm passionate about business. But you see, service, nothing could equate. Anything that I have achieved tangibly could equate to the service that I'm going to give my community. I have a great love for people. I am kind-hearted. I love people. I love serving people. There's no question with that. What captivates my soul the most is service to people. And I want to continue to vie for this to become Plymouth BounXup next area representative. Recently, as I walked the length and breadth of this electoral district, I met a young man, and I said to him, I said, hey, you could be better. You could do better. If I could do it, you could do it too. And I'm here to say tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I offered myself unselfishly because I think Plymouth BounXup needs me in order to move forward. I have written my first book, as you guys know, Woman of Substance. And Woman of Substance. And a lot of persons not brave to share their story. But I'm here to tell you tonight, I was brave enough to share my story because I wanted to be someone else's survival guide. The truth is, there are a lot of persons that are struggling. And as I walked through Plymouth BounXup, someone fell in my arms because she was so devastated. She doesn't have anything. And my soul cringed because I think that when persons get into office, they don't understand what it means to serve. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the type of leader that if my people ain't eating, I ain't eating too. Many times, both Akil and I had conversations about serving our community. But one thing we didn't do in the past is stand up. But tonight, we're standing up.
Tonight we standing up. Don't want nobody tell me about leaving. Say floating and this is the place. Take me home. Take me home.
You have this.
Take me to a place where my heart don't feel no pain. Take me home, take me home, take me home. When everybody's shouting. Yeah. Let's hear it for Karen Forbes. Plymouth, Black Rock. Yeah, man. That's what we talking about. Only here talk.
Yeah.
And to our online viewers, there is no teleprompter.
The young lady talk from the heart. So if we didn't stand up for the last 3 years plus, tonight we standing up.
I'm glad before I introduce. Before I introduce the man himself leading the team, I want to bring it to both his attention and to our attention this evening, some news that came to me. And I'm glad that Karen ended on that note. Concern, the way that people are struggling, suffering in Tobago. It came to me a little while ago that presently, as we are here presenting our candidates to their communities, there are a number of persons at Roxborough facility sitting, waiting on ambulance service for almost 4 hours now. Some in critical condition. Folks, this thing's serious, you know. This thing is very serious. Almost 4 hours, people in critical condition waiting to be transferred from Roxborough to Scarborough. Life and death situations. And you know why they're still waiting? They don't have no functioning ambulance. This evening to treat with the serious matters for Tobago, not just the communities, but all of Tobago. The young man who we were at his community just a couple nights ago, showcase, spoke from the heart, and is here tonight to guide the battle, those battle-ready young people who talking from the heart, who are ready to take up this challenge. But he's no stranger to the war. Welcome this evening, Mr. Ansel Dennis Buku, Mount Pleasant, political leader of the People's National Movement. Welcome this evening, sir. Take the floor.
Wow. I think I could just say wow and just end it right there. But it's a pleasure to be in Bethesda to support candidate number 15. None other than Miss Karen Forbes. Give her a round of applause. And of course, she's supported by her twin, the guy himself. And I want to say to the people of Plymouth, Bethesda, Lekoto, Blackrock, Golden Lane, the people of these two districts, that we counting the two as one. So make sure both of them come together. Don't come with one at all. Come with 2 seats. And, you know, initially I had planned to talk about another aspect of our vision and policies that we have in place to put Tobago first again. But I decided not to bore you tonight with any long policy speech. It's going to come later on in the campaign. So later on in the campaign, you're going to hear a lot more about how we are going to put Tobago first again. But I simply want to tell you this evening that I don't know about you, but I felt a shift tonight. And when this party made a decision back in May or June, I think it was, to open nominations and to invite persons willing to represent this party in the next Tobago House of Assembly election, I was a very nervous man because I had no idea of who will want to stand with the PNM at this point in time where we are in opposition. And of course, we have just lost the general election. But I sit here this evening, even as we present to you candidate number 15, having gone across all the electoral districts in Tobago, presenting 14 other candidates, including myself. I sit here as political leader leading this team, and I'm extremely proud. Because notwithstanding the circumstances, we have found 15 extremely good candidates who have made the decision, as Karen said, to stand up for the people of Tobago at this point in time. So I simply want to say to us gathered here in this room and those looking online and those who may look at this meeting later on, that redemption draweth nigh for the people of Tobago. Because it has been 4 long years of suffering, 4 years of dishonest governance, 4 years of poor leadership, 4 years of abandonment, 4 years of frustrations, 4 years of you, the people of Tobago, being last, dead last. And I'm saying to you that not only am I proud of this team, but I am confident that we have what it takes to represent you, the people of Tobago, and to govern you responsibly. And of course, as we move forward into the next phase of this campaign, because this is the final meeting of our community conversations, which allowed you to interact with your candidates in a manner which we haven't really offered to you before. And I'm sure for the people of Plymouth Black Rock and the people of Bethesda Lake too, that as you sit here this evening and you listen to your candidates, I am sure that you have been given the assurance that in these two very fine young people, the finest that Plymouth and Bethesda has to offer, you will find excellent representation and solid leadership. So with that said, I will allow you, the people of this community, to further interact with your two candidates. And of course, I will also be open to answering some of your questions that you may have. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ansel, Dennis, beaucoup Mount Pleasant. So folks, this evening, this is what we're going to be doing. We are going to, I know many of you have your questions lined up and so on. So as we said, this is a conversation that we'll be having with the community. A conversation involves more than one person talking to one another. So just as you have heard from these fine candidates, we want to be able to hear from you this evening. We've experienced a number of years of hardship and bad decisions and so on, and there are things that many persons want to see take place in your community. So I'm going to give persons the opportunity, before we go to online, I'm going to give persons the opportunity. If you have a question, you can lift your hand, or you can stand, and then I will ask you to just come to the microphone, or the microphone can come to you, and we take it from there. You can ask your question to any one of these three young people on the platform. Are we ready? I don't want everybody to rush at the same time. So one by one. Who will be first this evening? Wait. After all these vibes and excitement.
And let people know that even if they don't have a question, it's an opportunity to make a statement on
good night,
things that
everybody.
Communities and so on. Yeah.
All right. Well, my name is 𝐓𝐿𝐶𝐚𝐵. To my friends and family, I bless you all tonight and to go forward in Jesus' name and put God first.
Yes.
You all young, don't let nobody tell all you give all your heart and all your soul and all you go with. We want young people, and I know all you understand their life. And I want to ask a couple questions. Anybody could answer? Well, in the community, we got young people. As usual, you're going around and you're hearing that cry. But you get poor people too and old people too. So, when all you win, all you come back and give thanks. You both all you hold hands and give thanks. I know when the two of you used to go run up Bethesda school to the back up there. I know when all you used to climb the hill up there. Some school books, some school bag heavy, some used to give to, but all you did all your best. And to come back here to represent and to give all your self to the people is very nice. Keep it as how you start. Go with it. Nurture yourself. It's good morning. The same way all you leave, we want all to come back. Now, you get things in the community where we go like to see when Mr. Adams leave off, we want it to continue. The road, we want to get some more fire hydrant, because if fire catch up a Bethesda in again, none of me. We know about the water situation. Mr. Ansel, all had to talk to the chief. Give me a handle here one time, The chief, talk to the chief. All ask questions, you get people around where was there before, look, call them, look for them, ask a question. Do figure all know it all. Remember, don't forget all know it all. We used to do it part when we in our days. We have a jetty down the road. I hear the nigga dead, so we could break up with them and build and continue do what we had to do. People, fishermen want some spots down there. I just throwing out things. You understand? Well, Miss Claudia Groom-Duke and Adams, we bring a ambulance in Plymouth to help the situation. We don't have a residential doctor again. I want a piece of land down there. That down there, I got put me distillery down there. We don't have a residential doctor in Plymouth again. We bring an ambulance to take care of certain things because we know the new hospital. We don't get ambulance. 12 ambulance came, none are working. Shame. I want to sing as a politician tonight and take all the job, but I just seen the thing for you to understand what really taking place. See, make sure when all of there, all of take care and the people come back and look for us, please, all 15. I hear a noise up in St. Vincent. May I know if it's true. I hear a noise up in St. Vincent. Like yellow is the code. All be careful. All be careful. Today, I lie down on my bed. I understand them Americans that don't have Grafton. They eat heavy. And all be careful. Let me say something tonight. Chief, I want to know what's going on, I want to know what's going on with that. What here, You understand? Chief, I want to know because I hearing a radiator going up and you go blow breeze. Let me tell you something. If you see that thing go up and you hear the shots start to fly, Ukraine hitting every radiator up in the air for Russia. Is that where the communication gap is? That radar why I hear them putting up there. I say radiator, I want them to lock me up. If I want to know what's going on,
Let's the roundup, sir. We want to give other persons the opportunity.
But the Alabama Scotch coming.
Thank you very much.
So I just want to respond quickly to that radar situation. And me laughing and me cackling. But it's a serious matter. Now, for those of you who live in certain places, you were awakened a couple nights ago by the roar of a military plane, which is not something that we're used to. And this is against the backdrop of military assets coming to our region in significant capacity. And this is also against the backdrop of what appears to be a conflict between two sovereign nations. There was talk swirling around Tobago about a project taking place within the airport premises. There was talk about the contractor doing that work being the THA's anointed contractor, California Stucco. There was talk about it being a platform for a radar. The Prime Minister was asked the question, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Mrs. Kamla Persad Bisesa, SCMP, was asked the question about what is taking place in Tobago in our airport. Her response was that the military of a foreign nation is helping us to build a road. The Chief Secretary, Honorable Assemblyman Farley Augustine, okay, LM, was asked about those developments. His response then was that he did not know, and all he knew is that the plane had refueled while it was in Tobago. Right? That was a couple of days ago. Then last night at the prayer and consecration service, he was asked the question again, and he said that he is still investigating it, and he believes that it's some kind of military asset, but he did not know about it, and that he is against the installation of any military asset on Tobago lands. Now that is the first time that me and this Chief Secretary found common ground. But his posture is interesting, because whether it was about visiting the quarry or Tobago's allocation, which was significantly more than any previous THA administration, or whether it was other frivolous things, that gentleman was very loud and very aggressive. You all remember he told the Prime Minister once upon a time to mind his damn business? Very loud and very aggressive. So all of a sudden the pit bull turned mangy skin puppy. All of a sudden the fighter turned puppet. So there is no call on the central government to explain this. There is no rejection of this, but he rejected your autonomy bills that would have given you 6.8% minimum of the national budget. But no rejection of what appears to be the invasion of Tobago by foreign military powers based on arrangements and agreements that the people of Tobago do not yet know about. So the minority leader and I, we held a press conference calling on both those individuals to answer and account to the people of Tobago. Lo and behold, I heard in the news tonight that the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Kamla Persad Bisesa, SCMP, is admitting to us that, well, she's still holding on to the road story and the work on the airport story, but they are also building a radar. Now, these are not normal circumstances, and we have to ask some pertinent questions. What is the agreement? What is the arrangement? With whom did she consult on this matter? And when you go home tonight, I want you to think about this. Think about this carefully. If you involved in a fight with your neighbor, right? And your neighbor have a friend from a next village. Well, let me put it differently. You and your neighbor had a good relationship. And then your neighbor suddenly have a fight with somebody from a next village. And the person from the next village decide to come down where you live, you and your neighbor live, and start to perform themselves and flex their muscles and things. And dragging tree seam in the road, come outside, come outside. And the neighbor that was once your friend suddenly start telling this person dragging the tree seam in the road, get them, get them. Will you still consider that neighbor your friend? And let me add this as well. If the fight start and the neighbor, well, not the neighbor, the person who dragging the tree seam and performing themselves, they're too far for you to reach. But the neighbor right there, who glass are breaking, who house are pelting down. People of Tobago, this is a very serious matter. We have been saying that the Caribbean region, and not just us in the PNM, every single other CARICOM nation has been saying the same thing, that our region must remain a region of peace. And you know the reason for that? We live by tourism, we live by agriculture, we live by trade. The day this region becomes unstable with military conflict, crapo smoke all our we pipe. Every one of us. So I am saying to the people of Tobago to pay attention to this development and reject it, because I'm saying if, God forbid, and I'm praying every day that it does not come to that, but if, God forbid, a war breaks out in this region, then a military asset anywhere, whether it be radar, rocket launcher, tank, missile defense system, a military asset or military installation anywhere is a target, and it's fair game. And I want to say to the Prime Minister and to the Chief Secretary, if he's involved, how dare you disrespect and betray the people of Tobago in this way? So right in one of the busiest communities, right next to our airport, right next to our brand new multi-million-dollar airport, you quietly without consultation, even if you think you don't need our permission, but not even with consultation. And when you get catch, you're lying and telling us it's road you're building and refueling. People of Tobago, now is the time to stand up to this disrespect. Because this is a matter of life and death. I say no more.
This thing's serious. As we continue, we have two very important questions online. One to Karen Forbes, one to Akil Guy. Karen Forbes, there is a young man, Bethesda, wants to know what are some of the plans that you have in place with respect to farmers. There are a number of farmers in the district, especially Courland area, What are your thoughts on it? And how do you intend to advance the conversation? Mr. Guy, someone wants to know, with the issue of gang violence and crime that there's a surge in the area. What are your thoughts on it, and what are some of the measures that you would want to implement to address?
Okay. So first of all, when I think business, I think next level, right? And on any aspect. So as it pertains to agriculture, we need to ensure that we provide access roads and provide grants. So because we're living in the digital age, informational age, so we need our person to be up to that level. And that is the level in which we have to move to. And that's what I'm saying. When it comes to business, we have to think next level. We had to think about importing and exporting. So we try to acquire land for farmers so they themselves can be able to sustain Tobago, because that's the level in which we are going. Yeah.
As it pertains to gang violence, we all can admit that it plagues our society at this current moment in Tobago. Our district, Bethesda, 𝐏𝐞𝐬𝐞𝐫, Golden Lane, was identified as a hotspot, so to speak, in our Tobago. I look at crime in a way where it's cause and effect. What are the causes that are making these young men or young people choose violence? And when we come to that, is a breakdown in schools, breakdown in homes, breakdown in sports. So I intend to bring back these institutions to alleviate some of these issues. Another thing is, as I mentioned last Monday, I think a reform program is an excellent program to help alleviate or limit the amount of second offenders in our space. I think the reintegration into our society is very important. As they go to, if someone is locked up once, how is it that we are, while they are behind prison, how is it that we're going to build their capacity to be reintegrated back into our society and not feel like that there is nothing to come back to and totally ostracized, which leaves them no choice but to be back on the streets? So we, within our society, I would plan to work collaboratively with every institution within our community, which is the schools, the churches, the sporting community, to really help these young men find a way to be occupied and also to involve them in trade and into scholarships and these programs, show them opportunities and not just cast them aside and basically lambaste them to be criminals or anything. Because most of these young people are friends of mine, families of mine, and they're not bad people. But they are left with little to no choices with decisions that they make. But if we put more choices in front of them, I guess they would choose differently.
While we wait for persons to step to the mic, I'll continue. Okay, we have 2 people racing to the mic, 3 people. Wow, the floodgates open. And she aggressive.
Very. Good night, everybody. Good night to my next area rep for Blackrock, Plymouth. I am Gemma. The whole of Tobago know me. Yep. And I am from Blackrock. So I am one of the voices for Blackrock people, especially the young men. I'm one of them who actually interacts with these young people. I see them by the roadside and I would spend hours with them. Me and my cousin there, right? We would go and interact with them and, listen to them and talk with them. And, people that say you're on the block with that. It's not a block. It's just that they don't have anything to do. So they're just on the roadside. Now, there are 3 categories of these young people. You have those who might have a little business. You have those who are unemployed, and then you have those who are working CPEP or URP. I would ask the chief, my next chief sec, about the URP CPEP. This question is for my next area rep. What do you foresee doing for those people who have the little businesses? What can you do? What would you be able to do for them to improve their businesses? Because some of them, they have the building, some of them is just by the roadside. And those who are unemployed, they were promised the last 4 years, the last election, they were, I'm not calling anybody name in our police lock me up, right? They were promised jobs, and for 4 years, they're still waiting on the job, right? Some of them just finished school, and they have nothing to do. So I don't know what do you foresee for those people. And Blackhawk had, I should say, not had, if not the best, but one of the best tennis court, basketball court, table tennis. And that is in a dilapidated state. For the past 3 years or so, people wasn't even going through the gate, they were going through the fence. Because the fence is anywhere in the fence is big holes. So you just pass through the pavement, no basketball rings, no netball rings, people, nothing at all. People used to come there and play cricket on the netball courts from outside of the village. So we have nothing. This morning I was passing and I was kind of, where tractor doing here, boy? I see they sent tractor to kind of see if they could spruce up. And then they had somebody who they pick before the screening, the other side, came to the village and paid some young boys to kind of clean up the court now. Take down all the vines that are going on the thing there, but well, they're still doing it. So the tractor was there trying to do their best. They thought to take down the fencing and thing to see if they could do something before the election, right? So I don't know what you'll be able to do for those people. Mr. Chief Sec, my question to you is, these people who are employed in CPEP and URP, some of them have great concerns. I'm talking for the young men in the village, and young women too, because there are a lot of young women in the village who works with CPEP especially. And they are single mothers, and they are hearing you talk about CPEP and URP being closed down after this election. So I don't know what peace of mind you could give them. Thank you.
So let's let the candidates respond quickly, and then we'll take the next question.
I'll go first. Right.
First of all, what I will do a site visit at the BlackRock facility, and any facility in particular. The purpose of doing this site visit is so you could orchestrate a needs assessment for the facility to upgrade the facility. And then when you would have identified the issues, you will know whether the facility partially could be used or not be used, because we don't want that to be hazardous to our athletes, neither our youth or anybody that is using the facility, right? In terms of providing opportunity for the youth, definitely, I will say we will create entrepreneurship programs. We will also organize a vendor registry where we do a database with all the entrepreneurs within the electoral district. The purpose for that is so we could ensure that everything that we do and the programs that we orchestrate is in relation to the needs of the people, right? So we have to provide empowerment programs, right, and mentorship programs so our people are able to understand themselves better, and vocational training. In that regard, we could teach our people to fish so they can feed themselves for a lifetime. And that is the kind of space that we want to create for our people. We have to be innovative.
CPEP and URP, all I will say to them is ensure that they vote the PNM. Because No, it's serious. It's serious. Vote the PNM, because I'll tell you this. By this radar issue alone, if you didn't believe that Farley was Kamala's puppet before, this radar issue should cause you to believe that. Because here we are with this thing happening. He's pretending he didn't know, and he's silent like dumb dog in Jerusalem. And he called previous chief secretaries Momo in chief and Chief Konomono. Who is Momo in chief now? So clearly, the point I'm making is that when it comes to CPEP and URP, the policy of the central government is clear. And they have already said to the THA that as national policy, meaning policy for Trinidad and Tobago, CPEP and URP will be no more. And the most Puppet Farley could do is say to them, well, at least wait until after the election. Right? So I am sure you know that Ansel K. Dennis as our chief secretary will not be a puppet of Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bethesda. And therefore, when it comes to CPEP and URP, we know that they will not allocate any funding to the THA for it, because they did not allocate any funding in the last budget. But guess what? As long as we are given our legally provided minimum allocation of 4.03% of the national budget as a priority, we will set aside the necessary funding from that total allocation to ensure that the CPEP and URP program continues in Tobago.
Thank you very much. Next.
Good night. My question is for Ms. Forbes. How will you improve the fishing facilities and jetty infrastructure at Plymouth and Corlan to better support local fisherfolk?
So I have heard the cries of the fishermen, and I followed up with a visit with them as well. We definitely is a conversation to be had with the private owners, and then see how I could lobby. And actually, I'll speak to the chief about opening legal conversations with that person so I could lobby on behalf of the fishermen. Additionally, I think there are some low-hanging fruits, and I went on my discussion with them. There were also low-hanging fruits in terms of support with finances and with fuel as well. So what I will do, I will consult with them, find out much more of what they are needing, and then I will go from there.
And I just want to add that when you put Ms. Forbes as your assemblyman, and she's part of the executive council, she wouldn't have to lobby, because it will be PNM policy, and you will see it in our vision when we unveil it. It will be PNM policy to establish a fishing port. We're going to establish 3 fishing ports across Tobago, and 1 will be placed in Plymouth. Now, I am aware of the legal issues with Mr. Gillette, I think is the guy's name. And based on what I learned while I was the chief secretary, I spent some time digging deeply into that matter. As a matter of fact, I had several meetings with Mr. Gillette. And I know that the issues are not insurmountable. And that is why I could sit here and say to you that as PNM policy, we will get past those legal hurdles, and we will establish 3 fishing ports in Tobago to begin with, and 1 of them will be in Plymouth.
Next.
Good evening, everyone, panel and everyone here. I have 2 questions / concerns. I hope I can ask both.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
The first one, I want to piggyback on the question posed earlier regarding agriculture within the community. Plymouth had an agriculture society. I don't know where that is now. However, I want to ask, expanding on that, how do you plan to treat with Tobagos? What plan do you have to strengthen the Tobago agriculture sector so that farmers benefit from stable markets and consistent support? That's one. Two, coastal erosion. Anybody living on my street on North Street have their little fee, and I saw a few of them here. Even on the fort is now closed. Fort James is now closed because of coastal erosion. Across the street from the health center, we had that erosion. And on that whole North Street, straight up to the beach, is breaking away. I remember a number of years ago under the prime ministership of Patrick Manning, a team from central government along with persons from the THA would have visited the area, and they had some plan of treating with it, but fate would have had it, and then elections came, and then the PNM came out of office. And since then, nothing has happened, but we are seeing the chipping away. It affecting me. Sometimes I'm a little worried every time you see a bad weather or a rough sea, because every time you get that chipping away. So I would like to know how, if you are aware of it, and how do you all plan to treat with it? Thank you.
So I'll answer the,
Thank you very much.
So I'll answer the last one first about the coastal erosion. Yes, it's something that we are quite aware of that is affecting almost every coastline in Tobago. And it requires significant sums of money to protect certain areas of the coastline of Tobago. But I can assure you that, as you referred to previously, that under the previous PNM administration, we did several studies and we established several plans geared towards protecting Tobago's coastlines. But of course, it is something that we're going to have to confront on a phased basis, because a lot of it requires very expensive fixes in terms of walls, and there are some cases where we will simply have to move people away from the coastline. So it's something that we definitely intend to confront. It is something that will always affect us here in Tobago, especially as we live in this age of climate change with rising sea levels and all of that, right? But it is something that we're definitely aware of and we are prepared to confront. As for agriculture, that is something that we are definitely excited about in terms of fixing and improving Tobago's agriculture sector. For us, it's about mainly encouraging more Tobagonians to get involved in the sector and encouraging those that are involved in the sector currently to expand. And previously, we started something called the Farmland Development Program, where we identified 700 acres of land across several estates in Tobago, whether it was Friendship Estate, Lamy Road in Argyle, Richmond Estate in Glamorgan area, Belmont Road, Indian Walk. The plan is simple. Develop these estates, put in the infrastructure, the roads, the electricity, the water that is required. In some cases, we're going to have to put in some centralized facilities. For example, in Belmont Road, because we're going to earmark that area as an area for poultry, we will establish there as well a poultry processing plant. So through that farmland development program, that is going to allow us to give several persons in Tobago between 2 to 5 acres of land. And it is going to be a mixture of new, young farmers and existing farmers who have already demonstrated the capacity to produce and who will want to expand and produce more, right? So through that program, we're going to make the resources available, especially that critical resource called land. As part of the program as well, we will make available for persons to establish their new operations, or for those who are moving from existing operations to expand, we will make available to them a grant of up to $100,000. And of course, there will continue to be other funding mechanisms in place for those farmers where they can get low interest loans and so on through the Tobago House of Assembly. The other aspect of it, of course, is the marketing. And how do we get the Tobago produce into the markets? Because the first call has to be to feed ourselves in Tobago. Currently, Tobago imports from Trinidad and other places as well a lot of the food that you eat, right? The watermelons that we eat, a lot of it comes from Trinidad. And yes, you have watermelon producers in Tobago. Some of them we had identified as part of the farmland development program to give them the land to expand and produce more watermelons. There's a guy who I know of down in 𝐏𝐞𝐬𝐞 Bay, produces a lot of watermelons, begging for land for the longest while. We actually gave him the documentation for the land 5 years ago as part of the farmland development program. Over the last 4 years, nothing has happened. He produces, of course, sells off all his watermelon in Tobago, but to meet the demand of Tobago, we are still importing from Trinidad. What that means? It means that there are opportunities in Tobago for people who want to produce watermelon because there's a shortage in the market. So if you can get Tobagonians to fill that void, and that's just one crop, watermelon, then there's a demand for that in Tobago because a lot of it comes from Trinidad. The Tobago Agribusiness Development Company is also a critical part of this. It's a company that the PNM started. The arrangement was to have this company as a middle company or an intermediary arrangement between farmers and the market. So you have 𝐶𝐶𝑖. 𝐶𝐶𝑖 will take what the farmers produce, because I want to add as well that when we give these farmers land through the farmland development program, it's not to produce whatever they want to produce. And I know we have farmers, sometimes you get them an acre of land, they want to put some in peas, some in cassava, some in dasheen, some in okra. That doesn't necessarily give us the best opportunity to maximize the potential of the land. So we're going to identify the specific crops that we believe are relevant to our situation in Tobago. I mentioned watermelons, but you also have root crops, cassava, sweet potato, yam, and so on, which will also create opportunities for adding value, where you will have the fresh cut ones that we will package. 𝐶𝐶𝑖 will do that. You could even convert it into the various flours, cassava flour, sweet potato flour, and so on. 𝐶𝐶𝑖 will do that. And you also have people with their own agro-processing operations who may be willing to do that. So the idea is to stimulate the sector with the necessary resources, land, funding, etc. Have 𝐶𝐶𝑖 as that intermediary company to source the markets in Trinidad, across the region, and even internationally. And all the farmers will be required to do is focus on production and maximizing their potential as farmers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next.
Good night, everyone. My name is Simone. My question goes to Ms. Forbes. What message you want to send to the people in the district, especially the youths?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Michael. Yeah. So I had many opportunities through sports And sports has been my vehicle. And I'm saying that if I can rise up as a youth and be one of the movers and shakers to go forth to become the next area representative, as a youth, I'm calling on my youths to see this as an inspiration for them to stand up as well. I take this bold step because of the youths. I want to inspire people. I've been inspiring people, and I'm going to continue inspiring people. And if the youth see myself and Mr. Guy doing it, then that's hope. And that's what we want to provide for our youths and our young people. We want to help them to go to the next level. That's why we will implement programs through sports, my niche, to get them there. I want to encourage them, whatever talent, whatever gift that God give you. My gift is the gift of influence. I am not the national captain right now because I got hurt in the Jamaica game 3 days prior to the Jamaica practice game. And still, all of my players are calling me, we have this problem, we have that problem. And that's because of sound leadership.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Mr. Guy, baby, Mr. Dennis. There's some projects in Golden Lane, some projects that was cancelled. I know the football field because I was with the young lady that went and did all the digging up and gathered all the information. So I want to know if this project will continue under you all as the People's National Movement. Thank you.
Of course. One of the core differences between the PNM and this current bunch in the THA is that this bunch is about cancellation and the PNM is about continuation. So whereas when they got in office, they canceled the Farmland Development Program, they canceled the Bacolet Bertil Sinclair Indoor Sporting Complex, they canceled the Goslow Agro-Processing Facility, they canceled the Goodwood Pavilion, they canceled the Charlottesville Community Center and Pavilion, they canceled Watson Duke, that was just a joke, right? But they cancel a lot of projects that would have benefited you, the people of Tobago. Any project that is in train, including those projects in Golden Lane, we are going to continue them and bring them to completion to the benefit of the people of Tobago.
I have a question here online again for Ms. Forbes. Seems to be speaking quite a lot tonight. The person generally wants to know, the district is Plymouth, Blackrock, but there are a number of other communities smaller, Marys Hill, Union, Wim, Pleasant Prospect, Bethel, Fairbanks. Whew. What are your plans to engage the people in these communities?
So I will say, for Marys Hill in particular, I know they want a football league, and that's one of the things that I'm really good at. So what we will do, again, because it is infrastructure, we will ensure that we do a site visit. And after that site visit, we do the needs assessments in accordance to what is needed at Marys Hill facilities. And I know the lights is an issue. Ms. Duke would have organized that field, so we will ensure that Marys Hill get what they want. Union also want a recreational facility as well. And I heard that there was someone who has some land in a particular area. So we're gonna have some discussion with that person to see if she's ready to lease or anything like that. So we could make sure that union have what they want. Fairbanks in particular is a very close-knit community, very small community, but they are very close. And what I would have discovered, they would like to have a playground facility. And that's something that I do believe that we can make happen as well. Coming down to Pleasant Prospect, they are mentioning that the roads, the infrastructure needs to improve. So I will consult with my chief here and ensure that they can get that, because it is a tourist site place. And we need to ensure that our tourists are safe. And in the near future, what we could add to that particular area is a walkway. Because if we're gonna get tourists, I usually travel as well. Tourists often likes to go out and run and these different things, and they like to vent here. So that walkway now will align themselves with that, so they themselves can utilize that, so they could walk and do everything that they want to do, all right? And Bethel in particular had some issues with like poor drainage and so forth, so we will ensure that we will take a look at it and ensure that they have reorganized something like that as well.
Mr. Guy, someone is saying that your district seems to have a high incidence of substance abuse amongst the young men. They want to know how you intend to approach that situation, especially with the decriminalization of certain elements.
So similar to crime, I think our young men need to be educated on the effects of these substance abuse and the situation, what is the result of the overuse of this substance. With the growth of our sporting academies within our space also, it's not just is an institution, but it was a discipline to keep them away from substance abuse, right? I think growing these sporting facilities, because it's a very highly populated place where sport is concerned, I think not only to fuel the sports, but to grow academies through sports. The like village league and this stuff was things that used to keep young men off of substance abuse. And the village league wasn't something that just we would play. It was something that we used to scout talent from and to help young men to stay on a right path. Having these mentors also will also help persons, to have conversations about how the effects or the effects of substance abuse, right? So the constant conversation and the engagement with me as a representative, not just having other persons being aligned to them, but me myself being aligned to them, I think that is the way I would take with these people.
And our final question online as we wind down, I'm not seeing anyone else in the audience stepping forward. I'll entertain one more. We have one more question. Okay, as you make your way to the microphone, someone is asking, what are the plans for education in Plymouth and Bethesda?
So
after we have our questions, we'll ask the candidates to make their closing remarks, beginning with Ms. Forbes, and then we'll wind down from there.
A pleasant good night. This question is for Ms. Forbes. I know you are a star in football, and we keep speaking about tourism. I just want to recommend that we can use sport tourism as an avenue to build our economy. What do you think about that?
So I know PNM would have built the first swimming facility at Blackrock, and also the beach facility. One of the things that I would like to do, I know I play grass football, but that beach facility is a fantastic facility. And I know under the PNM, we would have had the Commonwealth Games, right? And I would like to orchestrate a tournament in terms of beach tournament. So now we can impact three things: culture, entrepreneurship, and sports all at once. The purpose for doing that is that everything that we do, we must be able to impact our culture, and we can include sports because sports is our niche. So we can run tournaments simultaneously, ensuring persons are able to play beach soccer or volleyball, because we have to add the non-traditional sports as well. So we could be able to allow persons who may not be able to compete at a national level, that they still feel that sense of belonging within the scope of all the activities that we're going to do in the future, sports related. So as I said, we will ensure that whatever we do and whatever activities that we do, we will impact sports tourism, and even to go a bit further, Kick It with Karen is also impacting sports tourism. I have seen Carl, the fast ferry, car rentals, guest houses, you name it, would have earned from the Tobago's economy from 7 to 10 teams coming in on a yearly basis. So we have been impacting sports tourism already. We're just going to take it to another level in terms of regional as well.
Thank you. This is for Mr. Guy. In your last presentation, you would have mentioned about mentoring the young men in the community. But as I travel through the community, most of the guys are not prepared to leave the village for whatever reason. And in order for a nation to build, then we need trade men. So I am suggesting to you, within your electoral district, there are a lot of young men on the street, unskilled. I am suggesting that they don't want to come to us, but we supposed to find a system to go to them. So I am suggesting that in the community centers that were built by the People's National Movement, we can now bring skilled men into the community where they can now train these young men. And in that way, we give them a reason or a purpose to live. What is happening, we are realizing that people are lost in the value. And because if you doesn't know about your value, it leads you down a path that is a very destructive path. So I am suggesting to you that on your journey as our next area representative, that you will take this into consideration and work on it. One for the Chief Secretary now. Through your community conversation, you continue to speak about agriculture. And if we go back into history, it is said that Tobago was once the breadbasket, not of only Trinidad, but internationally. So I am happy to hear that you keep focusing on agriculture, because a nation that can feed itself is a strong nation. I'm also here tonight. I want to congratulate you for what you did today at the airport, because it seems like the people of Tobago doesn't understand what is presented before them. And I am tonight asking everybody inside of here, it doesn't harm one person. If they let go 40 drones on the island of Tobago, Tobago is going to sink. If you follow international war and news, once you set up dishes, your dish, that is what the enemy attacks first. So when you set up your satellite dish in Tobago and you put the oil tank in Tobago, it actually moved the war from Trinidad to Tobago. And I am tonight calling on everybody in here, whether it's PNM, whatever. This has to do with our survival, our generation growth. I am appealing on everybody here tonight that we need, according to Ms. Forbes, we need to stand up, We need to stand up. All our foods come from different Caribbean islands. And if a war starts, we have no food. The first thing you do in a war is destabilize your air bridge, your sea bridge. Once they destabilize that, where are we going to get food from? We need to pay attention, people in Tobago. This is not a joke. Please, for God in heaven's sake, let me forget about the politics and focus on the survival of the people in Tobago. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's stop in. Now everybody rush into the mic. Let's go very quickly, 30 seconds.
So good night, everyone. Shimika Toppin. I have 2 questions and a comment. So to Mr. Guy, what are your plans to alleviate the unemployment amongst the youths within the community? And you want to answer and then I'll go to Karen or you?
No, you can ask. Ask your questions.
And to Karen or to Akil, you have several schools within your district. What are your plans to boost the educational system or to rise the level of the education system within your district and within the schools? And lastly, my comment to Karen, for those of you who may not know, I was also screened with Karen being the successful one. And tonight, I just want to stand here tonight because it's not about showmanship, it's about sportsmanship. And I want to give you my love, my commitment, and my endorsement tonight in moving forward. So all the love and all the blessings to you.
So we have 2 questions.
So definitely we'll do after school programs. And something that I haven't seen is that we are heavily based on agriculture and fishing to sustain us. And I don't see that our farmers and our fishermen going into schools and having discussions. And I do believe that we can implement that, so now we could pitch that to our youth so they can see it as a career path. We will also do parent programs because we can't only work on the kids. We have to do parent programs so we can link the both together because those kids are going back into the same household. Right? And then we will ensure that they can access government grants so they can continue to build themselves.
To answer the questions Mika just asked, on employment, we definitely have to build the capacities of the business. We have to foster private-public partnerships within our communities that we can build the capacity of the private sector that now they could hire plenty of the young persons rather than just have to be dependent on the government. Apart from that, we have to also, as Karen would have mentioned, grow the agriculture sector, grow the fishing sector, grow the tourism sector. This will also create a avenue for the employment of the young people within our communities.
Well, I came here ready for the night, so I just want to
30 seconds, so
Yeah.
ready. We're looking to wind down.
We have we had our jazz in Plymouth, and this I want to ask a question. Once we've been back, I want jazz to be our number one festival in Tobago, because that used to bring out a lot of revenue. I don't know why jazz stopped. You understand? We get some of the best. Michael Jackson died with a broken heart. He died with a broken. He would not, and watch me, he would not leave Tobago because he want to relax. We just built the hospital. You understand? And a lot of singers came here. I didn't want to go back. when Stephen Wonderland, he said, I could feel a wave just break below by root, by the back step there. And he said, what is that? They say, well, I the shoreline. He said, wow, I can see it, Kim. You understand? So we had the best thing was going on the island and they break it up. So I want jazz to be one of our sport, music, and I want to big up 𝐏𝐞𝐬𝐞𝐬 for that place where she built on the road there. You understand? The Liverpool decay. The Liverpool decay. I want all to fix it and get something nice going.
Thank you.
That jazz.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The next question, very quickly, please, 15 seconds.
Good night, everybody. I am just me. Mr. Dennis, I didn't want to ask any question tonight. But as I sit there and I hear you talking about fishing and fish and so on, the assembly bought a boat. Some paradise, something. I can't remember the name. We don't know if they sell it. We don't know if they give it away. What I want you to do as the chief secretary, to have a good investigation and find back that boat and bring it back into the
Okay, thank you very much. So let's have
Night hot.
So
jazz and the boat.
So
and
let
then
me
relax.
So let me just so this will be my closing comment one time, and then we'll allow the two home stars to close off tonight. In terms of the capital of paradise, I have no idea where it is, right? But when you give me the responsibility as your chief secretary, I will find it. And well, we just find things, one from the ambulance in the bush. But let me add as well that this should excite the fishermen, because it's not just about finding the capital of paradise, but as part of our efforts to transform the fishery sector and to commercialize it, we're going to do two things. I said it before and I'll say it again tonight. We will instruct 𝐶𝐴DCO as part of its responsibility to find and acquire 5 commercial fishing vessels and then identify 5 fishing communities in the first instance and enter into business arrangements, whether through cooperatives or companies with those fishing communities, to have them manage and operate those vessels and pay back 𝐶𝐴DCO over a period of time through a lease to own arrangement. And secondly, for owners of pirogues who will want to graduate or move up to larger fishing vessels, we will provide through 𝐶𝐴DCO again very affordable lease to own arrangements for those fishermen so that they can upgrade, increase their capacity, increase their catch, and most importantly, increase their money, right? So those are some of the ways that we will transform the fishing sector. In terms of jazz, jazz will definitely return under the People's National Movement. But let me say, it's not just about jazz, because, I mean, this administration, they kill a lot of things, but to kill jazz, you have to be a real killer. Because they inherited jazz, they told us jazz was a waste of time, jazz was this, the bar talk jazz, cancel the jazz. Realized that the Tobago economy could not live without jazz. So you know what they did? Brought back the same jazz and call it something else. Tobago rhythm and soul or something. But we are going, in our plans, in our vision for Tobago, we are going beyond jazz, because it is our belief that as part of Tobago's positioning as a tourism destination, we should be able to market ourselves as a festivals island. And what that will require of us is not just to restart jazz, but to partner with communities, Plymouth and others. Buku already challenged us with the Buku Seafood Festival. But we have to partner with communities, partner with the private sector, partner with other organizations, and utilize all our facilities available, including the new international cricket stadium that we're going to bring, and the new motor sport facility that we're going to bring, to ensure that across the 52 weeks of the year, 52 weeks in a year, right? Yeah, neighbor. Across the 52 weeks in the year, that we have a schedule of frequent, predictable festivals, whether it be culinary festivals, whether it be sports tourism, whether it be music festivals, all kinds of festivals across Tobago, so that we could market ourselves as the destination to come to for entertainment, for the best food, for the best art and craft, for the best everything that you can find in the creative sector. And in closing, I again feel very proud to sit next to these two young people. And this may be setting the bar very low, but you know what these 15 community conversations allowed us to achieve? One, it allowed you, the people of the communities, to have the very first meaningful interaction with your candidates. So before they face any media, before they go on any platform, you, the people of Tobago, and the people of the district itself and the community had an opportunity to grill them in some cases. And some of the questions that you asked were very difficult questions. Not just tonight, but across all the meetings. And every night, whenever a difficult question was asked, I will watch side-eye to hear, well, let me see how you're responding to this. And at no point in time have I been disappointed. And it demonstrates that we have a team of 15 intelligent, grounded, rooted candidates that love the people of Tobago and that will serve their communities with distinction. And not that I wish to set the bar very low, but it will ensure that no electoral district that supports the PNM will end up with a Roger Alexander. Thank you very much.
No comment on that one. We have one individual who has been begging the indulgence of the court to field a very short question. And I don't want to deny her because I don't want her to be shouting out my name in the road when she sees me. So go ahead, 10 seconds.
Good night, everyone. It's not a question. Tonight is such an emotional night for my Forbes family and I. You're going to see a different side of me right now. I wish my grandmother was here to see this. My mom is here, and we are nothing without her tonight. She was a single mother. She had 4 girls. And my sister, she had no baby tonight. Right? She would have mentioned tonight that her teammates would have reached out there. But one thing I want to tell her about my sister, she doesn't use people to advance her position. She just used her position to advance people. And I want to tell her tonight, you see, my sister, Karen Forbes, since she put in her nomination, never call her baby, because I tell her I'm not calling her baby anymore. Her name is Karen Sanel Solange Forbes. People of Plymouth, Blackrock, Fairbanks, Marysville. That is a leader on that stage there tonight. And you see sitting right next to her on her left, if you all don't know, that was her classmate in Bethesda Government Primary School. Right? My sister and I grew up together. You always thought that it's two children Sonia alone have. And we are not twins. We are twins for a day. The 27th and the 28th of August, that is our birthdays. So when she went and turned 34, I was still 34 on the 27th, and I turned 35 on the 28th. So twins for a day. Sister, I just want to show my love and appreciation to you tonight. And I'm there with you every step of the way. No matter how tired I get, no matter what I have to do, when you call me, I would be there. I just want to thank everybody for coming out here tonight. And I letting you know, that is the next area representative of Plymouth Blackrock. I just want all to big up on yourself in here tonight.
Well, if I didn't know it's all that, I would have a co-host tonight. Oh, you mean? Big up the other K Forbes. Folks who want to bring it home tonight, because I have been reliably informed. I have to say this here. There is a feast. If you hear food, pie, kalaloo, cornmeal, baked chicken, sauce, I say it's a festival we have in. So, Mr. Guy, you could bring us home, and then we'll close with Ms. Forbes.
So tonight, it's an honor to really be sitting in front of my people from Bethesda and Plymouth, 𝐏𝐞𝐬𝐞𝐫, Golden Lane, my extension. And I pledge to you all that I, being the next area representative, will seek your needs. I'll be on the ground. I will be present, of course, present, and available to every one of you all. And I'm asking of you all to support, vote the PNM, and let's put Tobago first again.
Karen.
Over the years, I have always prepared. I have a saying, I don't get ready, I stay ready. I have my first 100 days, as I become the next area representative. I already have for the first 100 days what I'm going to do. And I say this because oftentimes I have my chit chat with my best friend. And I told her, I said, God is preparing me for something, a calling. And I was called to serve Plymouth Blackrock. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I bring my passion, I bring my leadership, I bring my resilience, I bring my humility from the Forbes family to you. And I want to represent my community with pride. Thank you. Let's put Tobago first again.
Yeah. Well, folks, something that I love to see. We are definitely not out of words. Because if we give these three young people the opportunity, we could end up with our all-night prayer meeting here, you know. But regrettably, we are out of time. And we want all good things must come to an end. But we want everybody to still be able to partake of the meals that have been prepared for us this evening, and still take a little opportunity to engage and with each other and to interact and come and meet the candidates and them. Remember, Karen can't walk around too much, so you have to come to her. This is the only time she will expect you to come. The rest of the time, she will be coming to you. But I mean, we had an awesome evening this evening. Let's hear it again for our standard bearers. Nah, better than that. We had to go out loud. We had to go out loud this evening. Let me invite you to stand if you can. And we're going to do two things as is the custom. We're going to close with a word of prayer, and then I'll ask the DJ to take me home. Yeah, DJ? Just join hands with somebody standing next to you. If you could, if you have an extra hand. All heads bowed, eyes closed. Father, we thank you this evening, for this is the day that you have made. And we stand this evening and rejoice in it. We thank you for those who have set themselves forward, O God, and come before you and your people to stand as representatives. Father, we pray that even as this community has been represented heavily here tonight, so too shall they in turn reciprocate and represent with distinction when their time comes. We pray as we leave this place, we leave not your presence, but God, that you would continue to go with us. And we thank you that each household represented here will be taken home in safety under your protection in Jesus' name. Amen. Mr. DJ, as we close off,
So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Kelvin Morris, minority leader in the Tobago House of Assembly. And we are on location here live just outside, as you can see in the background, is the brand new ANR Airport International Terminal. And this afternoon, I am here to have a discussion. I'm here to talk about what are the issues that has been circulating in over the last 24 hours. And that is the presence of this determined and this crime. And I have been debating the cause from fellow Tobagonians like yourself, concerning anyone because as you can appreciate here in Tobago, I will agree with the Chief Secretary on one thing, that we are indeed a loving and peaceful people. And therefore, any kind of threat towards that peace and that kind of comfort that we enjoy, you can appreciate, is that the entire island will concern. And therefore, I want to stop I want to questions go to the Chief Secretary and the Prime Minister at this time. Because notwithstanding what is being said to us in the public domain, what is left is more questions than answers. Because as you know, we all woke up to the sound of US military airplane leaving the ANR International Airport. And when questions were posed to both this Chief Secretary in the first instance, the Chief Secretary indicated that he had absolutely no clue what was happening. In fact, he said the only information he had is that those airplanes would have stopped at the ANR International Terminal, simply to the terminal. Then, few hours later, when the Prime Minister was asked about this same situation, she told us that the US military presence and the Air Force was simply here to do some road works. And this I am asking the Prime Minister pointed, and we want all of Tobago to say, first and foremost, that we want Tobago to be preserved as an island of peace. We do not want no more. We are about love. And therefore, Tobagonians are asking the Prime Minister to come clean today and tell us truthfully whether there's any military type equipment being built anyway in the vicinity of the ANR Robinson International Airport. Whether it is a radar system or any other system being placed here in Tobago at this time. And if the answer is yes, we are also asking her as to whether she had any consultation with the Chief Secretary on this matter. Because we have the Chief Secretary saying that he is unaware, and if in a situation like this, certain actions are being taking place, and the Chief Secretary is unaware, all of us in Tobago should be of great concern, because it would mean that our authority and our autonomy and even the respect for Tobagonians, not just the Chief Secretary, but the respect for Tobagonians, this stand disrespect for Tobagonians by inviting such an arrangement without not even having the respect, the dignity, and the decency to inform the rest of the island and the country at large. And therefore, this matter is a very serious matter. It's a real matter, and I want to appreciate how this can affect our very livelihoods, because you will know we are a tourist destination, and therefore any threat or any rumor of war at this point in time, or any activity that might be susceptible to any kind of war or anything breaking out on this island, can in fact have long-lasting, devastating impact on our very fragile tourism product. And therefore, this is why we all, notwithstanding the other issues, but when it comes to the livelihood, because I've always said tourism is to Tobago what the oil and gas sector is to Trinidad and Tobago. And therefore, we must protect this with our lives. This is not something for us to jump in. This isn't 𝐓𝐶ISM. And I'm therefore calling again on the Chief Secretary and the Prime Minister to not just simply send out a press release or a short statement, but to address the people of Tobago on this matter.
Thank you very much, Minority Leader. Let me say good afternoon to the people of Tobago and the people of Trinidad and Tobago by extension. It is very symbolic that we have chosen to do this press conference right at the ANR Robinson, the brand new ANR Robinson Terminal building. We did not opt for a studio. We did not opt for an indoor office location. We chose this specific location symbolically because, of course, this facility, to the tune of over $1 billion, was constructed by the previous government as a significant investment into Tobago's tourism trust going forward. And here we are within recent times. The government, and I have to say as well in conjunction with the Tobago House of Assembly, are apparently engaging in very secret, shady activities behind the backs of Tobagonians. And of course, all of Concoit, Bonaparte, Canaan, and other parts of Tobago were awakened by the loud roar of a military aircraft. Lo and behold, the following day, persons discovered the presence of military-type equipment within the airport perimeter. And the Prime Minister was asked, she said that some road is being constructed And the Chief Secretary said initially he did not know anything and that all he knew about is the fact that the aircraft refueled in Tobago. But interestingly, I looked at Tobago updates this morning, and there was the Chief Secretary saying that he is not aware of any such activity taking place on the island. And he said something that was very interesting, that he does not support the establishment of any military facility or equipment on this island. And I'm saying that I support the Chief Secretary if in fact he stands by that statement. Because of course, over the years, and I'm sure many Tobagonians have concluded that the Chief Secretary cannot be trusted. So, in the first instance, I do not even believe the Chief Secretary when he says that he is unaware of this development taking place on the island. I do not believe the Chief Secretary because my information is that their favorite contractor, California Stucco, has been on the ground working feverishly to help establish some kind of equipment or facility, partly behind the backs of Tobagonians. And therefore, I am saying to the Chief Secretary that if his statement is correct, that he did not know and that he does not support this development, I am saying to him that I am prepared to join him in a joint press conference along with other Tobago leaders. I'm calling on the idea. I am calling on Dr. Denise Surafat Angus, leader of the idea. I'm calling on Anthony James as well as leader of political, I can't remember the name of this political party, but as leader of another political organization to join us, myself, the Chief Secretary, the minority leader, and other Tobago voices to speak in a unified way on this issue and say to the central government that we are very uncomfortable with this development. We do not want such a facility in Tobago. To come clean with the people of Tobago. What is the nature of this facility being established? What is the deal made with any foreign government? We want details of the government towards the island of Tobago and towards the people of Tobago as it relates to that installation of any facility taking place within the confines of our airport. And finally, I'm calling on the people of Tobago because this, of course, is a matter of peace or war. This is a matter of life and death. This is a matter of economic prosperity and economic ruin. We rely heavily on tourism. We rely heavily on fisheries, agriculture, and trade. And whenever there is any semblance of instability within our region, all those things will suffer. And I've said before, and I will say it again, that the Caribbean must remain a zone of peace. And notwithstanding anything or any disagreement within other foreign countries, we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, should have been out of that. And whatever decision the government of Trinidad and Tobago have made, we, the people, want to know. Because from this day forward, we must not be kept in the dark. We want a full explanation on any agreements made with any foreign government. We want to know exactly what is being installed there and for what purpose. And I'm saying to the Chief Secretary for the first time, I think this is the first time I can say this, that I am prepared to support him on this matter. Because he said earlier that he does not know about this and he does not support this. And I'm saying if the Chief Secretary is being truthful on this occasion, then we in the PNM are in full support. And I'm calling on the people of the nation to support each other and to support our island and to support our people to reject this kind of secrecy and to call for total and complete transparency from the government of Trinidad and Tobago and from the Tobago House of Assembly.
because I will close by saying that I am very cautious in accepting from the Chief Secretary that he really did not know about this development. And if it is a fact that he did not know, then it is gross disrespect to the office of the Chief Secretary, to the Tobago House of Assembly, and to the people of Tobago by extension. And on this occasion, the people of Tobago must not sit idly by and accept this kind of disrespect and blatant lack of transparency. And not only that, a blatant attempt to mislead and lie to the people of Tobago that it's a road being constructed. An absolute lie. So today we are demanding full transparency relating to whatever is taking place right across there in close proximity to our brand new airport terminal building, which is supposed to be a facility to advance our tourism and a facility to ensure our future economic prosperity. So I'll stop here for now and I'll take any questions that the media may have at this point in time. And I'm sure the minority leader will be prepared to answer the questions as well.
There was able to have some military reactions, some military representing US Army policy. I think it's called the 𝐓𝐴𝐻𝐻 system inside this secured area at the airport. As I said, not only able to discover but also confirm that this radar system is at the airport right now. What are your thoughts on the discovery?
Well, again, we know for a fact that it's military equipment, but we can't say for certain if it's a radar or a battery or a generator. We don't know for a fact what is there. And that is why we are calling on the government to be totally transparent with the people of Tobago, because I saw in another jurisdiction where the Prime Minister, when faced with a similar decision, consulted with the people to ask them if they were okay with such a development. And the people were able to have a say. Because I want the people of Tobago to understand that this is a very serious matter. So we don't know exactly what it is, but we are saying that the people of Tobago and the people of this country by extension demands a full explanation as to what is taking place right across there.
Because we have asked a number of questions to the government, but what question do you think the government must ask immediately with regards to this?
Immediately, we want to know what is the agreement, what was given up, what was accepted. We want to know all the details of any agreement relating to the installation of any facility by any foreign government on Tobago land. If they are military, and why exactly are they here? I think the people of Tobago deserve an explanation as to what exactly is taking place.
Would have mentioned that this is a matter of it's a big, what are the implications with not only the equipment being here, but also the arrival of, I think, 4 military aircraft here. I think it means for Tobago and Caribbeans.
Simply our tourism sector, right? Every other Caribbean island, every other CARICOM jurisdiction, every other member of CARICOM have been saying we want peace. We want this region to remain a zone of peace. And whatever disagreements other countries may have between themselves, then those disagreements can and should be resolved in a more diplomatic manner. And therefore, anything that harms or that discontinues our long-standing history of regional peace is in fact going to harm and potentially completely destroy the tourism sector within this region. And I'm saying the news is out there that military planes have been flying in to Tobago in the dead of night behind the backs of Tobagonians. We don't know if they're building a road. We don't know if it's a hospital they're building. We don't know if they're coming to help build Scarborough Secondary School, because I heard that they did some work on some school in Trinidad. The fact is we don't know, and we need to know. Because again, this facility, this airport, this wonderful facility behind us that cost taxpayers over $1 billion was built to advance tourism and to advance the people of Tobago economically and otherwise. And anything that affects that or impacts negatively on that, we, the people of Tobago, will not welcome.
This matter as well is the fact that this very same airport, UNC, objected against the construction of this airport. And we in Tobagonians are asking, everywhere it could be placed within Trinidad and Tobago, why Tobago, if it is in fact military equipment, why Tobago?
Given the tension between the US and Venezuela, how concerned are you about not only yourself but also Tobago that this situation, Tobago, spotlight on us? Everything was going on in Trinidad. How you consider you?
As a Tobagonian, I am extremely concerned, and I believe every single Tobagonian should be concerned. This is unprecedented. I do not recall ever a time in my lifetime where we have been faced with such developments.
Chief Secretary said to make a comment on the whole Venezuela US matter that we don't comment on things that is not on the schedule.
Right.
But the question I'm asking is how can Tobago basically position itself, see that it doesn't have any control over what central government is making with regards to this, but how can Tobago position itself to avoid being drawn into military posturing in the region?
This matter is not about a fifth schedule or a sixth schedule. It's about basic respect, basic transparency in government, and it's about respecting the interests and the voices of the people of Tobago. So we are not accepting any excuse from the Chief Secretary that this is a sixth schedule matter. The Chief Secretary must speak on behalf of the people of Tobago, and his concern must be first and foremost for the interests of the people of Tobago in this matter. So he said, I think it was last night, but I saw the video this morning on Tobago Update, that he was not aware and that he doesn't support it. And I'm saying if the Chief Secretary is honest in that statement, that we are prepared to come together and join him in calling on the government to be totally transparent and to let them know that the people of Tobago does not support this development taking place on Tobago lands.
In terms of the election, because we are in an election period, said this event as a political forward or part of the strategy response.
Well, the reality is that this development and this situation right now ties into our campaign front, which is about putting the people of Tobago first again. So, having said that, first, this is not about politicizing any issue. This again is about basic transparency, decency, accountability, and respect for the people of Tobago. Don't tell us you're building a road or they're assisting to build a road when the evidence shows clearly that something else is taking place there. Come clean with the people of Tobago, tell us what is going on, and let us make the decisions going forward. Welcome. So I believe that there are no further questions. I thank you for tuning in, and I want to again appeal to the people of Tobago to pay attention to what is happening in our space and understand that our sovereignty as a country, the respect to this people as an island that is supposed to be autonomous in some way regarding the Tobago House of Assembly Act. And this is also a matter of Tobago's autonomy. Long period of time. And here we are with a central government prepared to make decisions and to make agreements according to the Chief Secretary behind his back without his knowledge. And again, let me say again that I am not totally led to believe the Chief Secretary on this matter simply because of his history of dishonesty with the people of Tobago. But if he's Secretary to the Tobago House of Assembly, and more importantly, most importantly, to the people of Tobago, and I'm saying to the people of Tobago that this is not a time to be quiet. This is a time to be inquisitive. This is a time to be fast. This is a time to be even out of place. And demand transparency and demand respect for the people of Tobago. Thank you very much and have a good evening.
We don't want no war. We don't want no war. War. What the hell you talking about? War. Boy, we don't know nothing about war. Tell them we don't want no war. All we want is peace. In the region, peace. In the world, peace. In the zone, yes, tell them this is a zone of peace. This is the West Indies. We don't know about war. All we want is peace. Tell them this is a zone of peace. Everybody, na na na. We don't want no war. We don't want no war. We don't want no war. War. What the hell you talking about? War. Boy, we don't know nothing about war. Tell them we don't want no war. Peace. Peace. Wars where people just talk about war and young people just die. We don't want no war. We don't know nothing about war.